Steemians, what's up? Dan at Starlight here. I want to talk about Steem because it's making its second big impression on the markets right now. And it made its first impression last year around July when it went up to $4.50. And at Shenanigator, wow, I read that all the time, but I never say it. At Shenanigator did a post a couple days ago, I think, about the fact that Steem was actually third on coinmarketcap.com for a while last July. So that's pretty massive. I mean, it got a lot of attention and it made a big first impression, but to everybody that wasn't necessarily a good first impression. And I think that's mainly because of two things. It was hyperinflating away. Steem was increasing at 100% a year back then, and you would lock your Steem up for 2 years in Steem power. So these things weren't necessarily looked at as favorable by the crypto community at large. So the crypto community, a lot of them, the traders and investors, they wrote Steem off. And they're like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. It's going to hyperinflate to zero, and it's got everyone's Steem locked away. This was an experiment that didn't work. What they didn't realize, and it's not expected that they would realize it because, I mean, they're not going to follow something that they've written off. But what a lot of us who have been using the platform for the last year know that they don't know, apparently, is that Steem isn't hyperinflating away anymore. And the lockup period is only 3 months. And you don't even need to do that really to invest in Steem anymore. Last year you needed to lock it up to avoid the hyperinflation. So in order to invest in Steem, you had to do that. Whereas now, I mean, you can just invest in Steem. It's pretty much like any of the other cryptocurrencies. But it's funny because when I listen to YouTube videos of crypto trading investors and when I'm in chat rooms with those people, not Steem it people just, in the cryptocurrency world, a lot of them just still think that Steem has no chance in the world. And, a lot of them still won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So it's funny because I just don't feel like the word's gotten out. Even though we forked away from hyperinflation last December, I think that we're still living in the shadow of that first impression, and we're making a second impression right now. And I think what's going to happen is, because there's so much new money entering the market, for a lot of people it's going to be Steem's first impression again. And I think it's going to make another sort of first impression on a huge group of people. And then hopefully eventually I think what'll happen is it'll come around, and the people that wrote it off will see, oh, wait a second, it actually has changed. It's not hyperinflating away. You don't have to lock your Steem up. I mean, you can lock it up for 3 months if you want influence on the platform, but you definitely don't have to potentially see big gains in Steem. And so just what is Steem inflation right now? Well, right now it's at 9.5% a year, and that decreases by 0.5% every year until it's just 1% a year. So this year it'll increase by 9.5%, next year 9%, the year after that 8.5%. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's at least something relatively close to that. So what you have is a currency that has about 250 million units now, and in 10 years it's still only going to have about 500 million. So, I mean, that's kind of what MadeSafe's at right now, right? So it's definitely in the ballpark of inflation. So I think as people start to realize that, people who had even rejected it the first time are going to start looking at Steem again. It's funny because I've literally seen people so surprised on like comments at like YouTube videos, like, why is Steem going up? Like, how is this possible? How is it possible? Well, I guess we were all lucky on Steemit to see that these hard forks are happening, and it's literally a different cryptocurrency now. It's such a different cryptocurrency. It needs a new white paper. I mean, if you read the white paper, it's way different from that. So anyways, we'll see where it goes. I mean, again, I don't know where it's going short term. I'm definitely not giving you investment advice, but you know, I'm definitely bullish on it long term, and I think it's got a big upside. So anyways, that's my video on STEEM for today. Dan at Starlight, peace out.